US President Donald Trump is telling other countries to go get your own oil from the Strait of Hormuz after key US allies did not take part in the US and Israel war against Iran. The key shipping lane has effectively been shut by Iran. Moments ago at the White House, the president said the US would be leaving Iran very soon and that the US did not have to make a deal with Iran in order to leave. It comes as Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Tuesday received his Pakistani counterpart Ishaq Dar to discuss the war. The two countries are now proposing a 5-point ceasefire plan to end the conflict. China has maintained its distance from the ongoing conflict, though it has ties with the regime in Tehran and is the largest buyer of Iranian oil. As diplomatic talks take place between various countries, the war continues. On Monday, top US General Dan Kane said more than 11,000 targets have been struck since the start of the war. Here's what President Trump said on the potential end to the war.
Iran doesn't have to make a deal, no. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people. It's a new regime. They are much more accessible. No, they don't have to make a deal with me. When we feel that they are, for a long period of time, put into the Stone Ages and they won't be able to come up with a nuclear weapon, then we'll leave. Whether we have a deal or not, it's irrelevant.
For more, here's our chief North America correspondent, Gary O'Donoghue, from here in Washington.
Isfahan in central Iran and the latest strikes on two of the regime's air bases as the war enters its fifth week. The war might have severely weakened Iran, but it can still inflict damage like this. A huge Kuwaiti oil tanker docked in Dubai carrying an estimated 2 million barrels of oil believed to be destined for China. With the crucial Strait of Hormuz still effectively blocked by Iran, President Trump excoriated his allies who have refused to send help to get it reopened, singling out Britain. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the US. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it.
Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that as well. So he's pointing out this is an international waterway that we use less than most, in fact, dramatically less than most.
It's not the first time the administration has targeted the UK. The president incorrectly said Britain had promised to send one of its two aircraft carriers, but then dismissed them as toys. In the space of one breathtaking morning, he not only attacked the UK, but also announced the dates of the King's visit to the US.
The King is a unique leader, a unique diplomat, and a great asset for Britain. I'm not going to comment on President Trump's tweets or his statements. That's not my job.
While Iran continues to be pounded from the air, tensions between the US and its allies are getting deeper and more serious. The president telling countries like the UK they'll have to fight for themselves in future. The US, he says, won't help anymore.
Now, joining me live is Tara Kangalu, who is a global affairs journalist and the author of The Heartbeat of Iran. She's also an adjunct professor at Georgetown University. Tara, we've heard from the president in the last few minutes, in the last 24 hours, he has said that a deal is close, and then more recently saying that there's less emphasis on a deal now, as long as the US can ensure that Iran doesn't continue its nuclear ambitions. Again, he can be accused of flip-flopping there, and really how can the US get those assurances when they'd already said that Iran's whole nuclear program had been wiped out 9 months ago?
It's incredible, Amanda. I mean, the evolution of the war's objectives is in this war is unprecedented. And exactly as you said, the U.S. president said, we'll leave Iran whether we have a deal or not. And also, once we believe Iran has been put into stone ages. And I really want to bring back the focus, if I may, just quickly to the people of Iran. I mean, we're dealing with a country of 90 million individuals who long wanted this regime gone. And we just have to go back to the January protests where people took to the street risking their lives. And Donald Trump then promised that help that essentially over a month and a half in is not there. And so, again, at the core of this war, whether it's Iran, Lebanon, and the region at large, are people. So Donald Trump changing his objectives and also again, now saying that he would leave the war in 3-4 weeks, even without a deal, is detrimental, really, to the livelihood of ordinary civilians, not to mention, of course, the damage to the global markets, what's happening in the region, and also leaving this country with a more hardline and emboldened version of the regime. And again, Amanda, we're hearing lines from the White House over the past few days saying that we're dealing with, quote, a more reasonable regime who wants to deal. Again, the Iranian regime is saying no deals in the making. We're not even talking to the U.S. But the fact that, this narrative is being floated, that this is a reasonable and new regime, I think that's completely ridiculous. And that's something that we need to really keep in mind.